Welcome, the first ever guest of the What's My Dream podcast. Go ahead, introduce yourself.
My name is Sophia Larson. I'm a second-year dental student at the University of Minnesota.
Okay, so a dental student means you're going to become a dentist. If I'm in dental school, is there another route I could have taken, or once you're in dental school, you're a dentist and that's it?
Once you're in dental school, you're a dentist. Unless you want to go on.
No pivoting at that point, unless
You're
you
stuck.
restart or rewind. Okay, so at what point in your life did you decide, I want to go to undergrad, I want to go to dental school, and I want to be a dentist?
My dad is a podiatrist,
Which is
a foot doctor.
thank you.
Thank you.
Translation.
And I wanted to be like him, so I was like, okay, I'm going to be a doctor. And I knew that since like elementary school. So like in high school, it got more serious. I skipped a lunch period and took physics instead to prepare for college so I could prepare for medical school.
Overachiever.
Yeah, I was starving at like by the end of that.
Is this middle school or high school?
This is high school. It was like
High
physics
school, you're
one.
skipping a lunch period
Yeah.
to take physics.
It was horrible. It wasn't even a fun class. I had like protein bars in between. It was miserable.
And
then
this was voluntary.
And then I got a C in physics in undergrad, so it didn't do anything for
Yeah,
me.
because you didn't have any lunch and
No, I
your
didn't.
brain was tired.
I know.
Okay, go on. Sorry.
Oh, so then after high school, I applied for colleges. I got into like Madison and everything, and La Crosse, Marquette, and St. Norbert and Green
Subtle
Bay.
flex.
No, but what I'm saying is I knew that Madison is such a huge school, and like I do well in school, but I'm not the smartest person there. Like I'm averagely smart. I'm not like brilliant. So I knew if I went to Madison, like despite me being smart, everyone's smart and I would do bad.
Yeah.
So-
we can't all be as genius as me.
Exactly.
Exactly. So you got in everywhere you applied. You're the perfect student. The sky's the limit, any career, and you end up going dentistry.
Yeah, so I went to undergrad. I was like, okay, med school all the way. I took the prerequisites, and then I was like, I hate school. I want to be done. Imagining going to grad school and doing a residency, I couldn't do it. So I was like, okay, well, dentistry, you do 4 years of grad school, and then you make good money, and you're done. You don't have to do residency to enjoy your life. So I chose that.
So to someone who took a path like me where I just did undergrad, even going to dentistry is a lot of schooling. You graduate in 4 years of dental school afterwards. What is the comparison between dentistry and med school? How many more years are they committing to schooling / residency than dentistry is?
Yeah, so medical school and dental school are both 4 years, but general doctors, like graduating from med school, don't make that much money. It's kind of like being a physician's assistant at that point, from what I've heard.
This is not your career path. This is
not my
This is
career
what
path.
we've heard through
This
the
is what
grapevine.
we've heard through the grapevine.
Not a lot of money relative to
Relative
the
to-
surgeons and the other med school
Yes.
careers that require such a long school commitment and, going through 10 plus years of giving money to the school system to teach you how to do your job.
You never go to med school and think I'm going to be a general doctor. You go to med school thinking you're going to specialize immediately. So I was not going to add those extra years onto my life in school.
Okay. So to become a dentist, you need an undergrad degree. Does that degree have to be medical related?
Yeah, so pretty much the prerequisites in undergrad are the same for medical school. You have to do all the biology, chemistry, like OChem. You have to do psychology, biochem, all of those fun science classes that you have to do for both schools. So you don't have to change if you want to do med school and you change your mind, you don't have to change your course really at all.
Is there an exam like the MCAT for dental school?
Yeah, it's called the DAT.
The
And
DAT.
it's similar to the MCAT, kind of. It tests, like on biology, math, reading. Like it's kind of like the ACT, but there's a special portion that dental, like the DAT has, and it's called the PAT. And you have to like do all these weird puzzles and solve them. Like they say, like, here is an unfolded piece of paper and there's dots on it. And they're like, if we were to fold this piece of paper at these dots, what would it look like after it was folded?
And if you can answer that question, you can cure a cavity. That's the way their logic is moving.
Direct path. That's how you do it. That's how you do it.
Once you fully commit to being a dentist, you connect those dots day in, day out. Okay,
This paper turns into a crane. I can pull a tooth.
How long does it take on the suggested path to prepare for that exam? They say MCAT, you study 3+ months minimum. What does it look like for the DAT/PAT?
Yeah, I'd say it's like you should study for 3 months if I were to recommend it to anyone. I studied, I think, for like a month and a half, and I failed it the first time. Actually, I got a score so low that if dental schools received the application, they would have denied it immediately because of how low my score was.
Nice.
Like, my parents are really proud of
Yeah.
me.
Star child.
And then I took it again and I got 2 points above the minimum score. And I was like, okay, this is a really expensive test. I obviously have tried as hard as I could. I suck at standardized testing. So I just was like, well, I'll apply with this score and we'll see what happens. And luckily I had a lot of like other things that added to my application. Like I did a lot of extracurriculars in undergrad, like so many. And I think that's the only reason why I got in. I got into one school after applying to 12, got interviews at 2, and I made it somehow.
And now you're in dental school.
Yeah.
And to become a dentist, how long is dental school?
4 years.
4 years. No residency required, but it's optional, right? You could?
Yeah. If you want to like be an orthodontist or a periodontist.
Translations.
If you want to do like braces, or if you want to do root canals, or if you want to pull out teeth,
Thank you.
like for a living, then you go on, and that's like a 2 or 3 year residency typically. Oral surgery is a whole nother beast. You can Google that if you want to, whoever's listening to this
That's not your
podcast.
path, so we won't take it.
It's not my path, so we won't take that path.
We'll get an
right
oral
now.
surgeon on the podcast in a couple weeks, and they will really dive into that commitment for all you potential oral surgeons listening.
Yeah.
Okay.
I do know that a lot of people who go into dental school think that they're going to specialize, but they don't realize that everyone who's gotten into dental school is smart, and it's a whole other beast than undergrad. So a lot of people who go into it thinking they're going to specialize end up not doing that, and they end up happy and successful anyway. So
for a simpler time commitment and, to really start making money right away, right after dental school, I can just start being a dentist, start cleaning some teeth, won't be able to pull those teeth out and replace them unless I really want to commit some more time, but I can still clean them, which is the end goal.
yeah. So if you're a dentist, you're not going to be cleaning any teeth. You will be filling cavities. You will be working probably with a periodontist, like someone who works with the gums.
Okay.
On like helping put in implants. A lot of general dentistry is working with other people who did go on to residencies and specialize, like make different things and do different things with your patient's mouth, but you're the central hub of those people.
Okay. So once you're a dentist, you're higher up. You're not dealing with those typical biannual, customers, the everyday human, me and you, coming in to just get our teeth checked and cleaned. You're dealing with the real serious cases. That guy's got a dirty tooth.
Yeah, if
That
you come
guy's got
in, like,
something
if you went
fun.
into the dentist right now to get your teeth cleaned, it would, like, the hygienist would do everything, and the dentist would look at them, be like, okay, you have no cavities, and leave.
Easy. Okay.
Easy.
So you decide when you're 18 that you at least want to go into something medically related. You study some type of biological or chemistry type of medical field in undergrad, 4 years typically. After which, some people take a gap year. Which would you advise that?
I honestly, I would advise it. It helped me a lot with a lot of different things. I was able to put some money into my savings for dental school. Most people don't work during dental school, so you're just living off of your loans or whatever you have saved from before then. So I was able to have some saved up and put that towards, my rent and other expenses. Another thing is I worked as a receptionist at a doctor's office. It wasn't a dental clinic, but I was able to learn about insurance. And a lot of people have no idea, like, what any type of insurance is. So I am a little bit ahead of them in that. And then you just kind of see the reality of working in a clinic instead of just kind of the imaginary idea that you have of what being a provider is like. So.
Okay. So you finally graduate undergrad. You take about 3 months to study for the DAT/PAT, although some people that are more time strategic will do that during undergrad and pass that exam the best you can. Ideally, have a little bit of extracurricular on your resume from undergrad in case you are not a spectacular test taker, such as Sophia. And then you get accepted into dental school. You do about 4 years minimum. And then if you would like to specialize, you can go into residency, maybe 1 year, maybe 3+ years.
Yes, there's a thing called a general practice residency. It's basically you just doing a little bit harder cases, like doing implants, bone grafts, just like more oral surgery type things that will make you just a better dentist for when you go in and work. It makes you more hireable. You're able to do more things. It's only a year. You get paid like $40,000. So that's an option too for people.
Okay. There's some sort of income, something back from what you're giving to the schools. And you go through all this minimum 8 years, maybe 12 years or so, and then you become a child's worst nightmare.
Yeah.
But now we get into the salary. Before we go to that, we have to recognize the debt. So you pay undergrad, you're giving money to the schools. You go to dental school, you're giving money to the schools.
Yeah.
Sometimes you go to residency. In some cases, I imagine you're paying money.
Yeah.
So you give a lot of money in, you're in a lot of debt. If you had a guesstimate about how much debt that looks like after, let's say just undergrad and dental school and ignore residency.
Yeah. So let's say that you...
My cat is scratching the door. She's trying to get in. Okay, go on.
Okay. So let's say that you graduate. Okay. So in my case, I graduated from a private college. So that already put me in a lot more debt than I could have been in if I went to just a state university. Then dental school out of state, which is what I'm paying, you take out about $130,000 a year.
A year. Typically, that'd be a lot for an entire school.
Yes.
And this is per year.
Yeah, per year.
Okay.
Is what at least I take out. I take out the full amount. So I'm going, by the end of dental school, I'll be in $500,000 in debt, undergrad and grad school together. It can be a little bit less than that. I know some people have their undergrad paid for by their parents and then pay for grad school by themselves. Like, everyone's in a different financial position. Mm-hmm. So it it's up.
But that's a lot of money. If you're doing dentistry, you shouldn't just focus on the salary, because you're going to take potentially $500,000 of debt before you get to that salary. So for a good chunk of people, that's almost a lifetime of work to pay it off, because first you got to feed yourself, your family, whoever else, pay your bills, And then whatever's left, if there is anything, goes to paying off that debt. So that's a big commitment.
Yeah.
And then you go through all that debt. That sucks. But hey, I finally finished dental school. I'm just going to be a regular dentist, skip residency. I need to start making some money now. Mm-hmm. What does that salary look like?
I know some of my old peer classmates who went into a corporate dental clinic, so like Aspen Dental, Midwest Dental, like I think one is called Lakefront here in Minneapolis. I may be wrong, but they starting off right out of dental school, they made $130,000, and then you can compare that to another dentist who owns a private practice in a rural area, and they can make up to like 250,000, even more. Like I know people who own like $1 million properties who are dentists in like very rural areas. So
by going private practice, you can almost double your salary. But what are those barriers? You know, if the salary is about twice as large, why is every dentist not have a private practice?
I think there's a lot of reasons why you wouldn't want a private practice. You could definitely do it. There's a lot of benefits, but you have to, right out of dental school, I don't think you should do it because you have so much more to learn. You need the guidance and the supervision to continue on. It's not like the olden days that a lot of older dentists who own private practices lived through, where you can't just graduate and start your business. People are expecting better, greater service, and you can't provide that if you haven't learned any more past the 2 years that you actually practice on people in dental school. Another thing is you don't want to live in a super rural area. You can make a lot of money, but you live in the middle of cornfields, not by anyone. So that's kind of unappealing for some people. And then if you own a private practice, you have to know business and you have to know how to pay people. I don't even know business. I don't know all the terms, but it's just very complicated.
And as well, it's probably sacrificing your work-life balance to an extent.
Yeah,
you're not as
definitely.
much just working your shift, but you're running a business as well as being a dentist. So it's essentially entrepreneur and dentist combined in one. Okay. So by your advice, at least when you start off, get your experience, build up some credibility that you know what you're doing, that you're a good dentist, that you have a good specialty.
Yeah.
Get good at what you do. Enjoy perhaps city life or being around a lot more people similar to your age, whatever that may be. And then if you do want to, you know, take on a little bit more in your career, then switch over to private practice, spend some more time, but make some more money.
Yeah. I know people who are doing military scholarships too. Their entire dental school is paid for and they get a stipend. I know people who are doing a service program through the government. They're getting their tuition paid for. So it depends on what you want to do. But no matter what you do, I think that you should not start off on your own. I think that's the worst idea. You have so much more to do and more to learn and more to practice. And you can only take so many classes after dental school. But if you don't have someone there helping you and telling you what they've learned throughout the years, I don't think that you'll be as good of a dentist as you would probably want to be.
It makes sense. And so then if you are just a dentist, you know, you graduated dental school, you start making about $130K salary right out of school. Yeah. What do those hours look like? A lot of other types of degrees, you know, business, math, tech, engineering. By the time they're making that money, there's usually more requirements that come along with it. Maybe it's not a 40-hour week. Maybe it's not a day shift. Maybe you sacrifice your weekends. What does it look like over for the dentist working at the clinic?
Yeah. I think most of the people I've talked to in dental school so far have chosen dentistry because of the lifestyle, because you don't have to work all the time. You're not stressing about it. You're not on call mostly. And if you're private practice, you get to choose your own hours. So you're looking about maybe about 4 days a week if you would like that. And then an 8 to 5 if you want, or even earlier, like 6 to whatever. Or If you want it more in the afternoon, you could work until 8 and start later. So it's more flexible and just more conducive to more people's different lifestyles.
Just kind of figuring out that shift during the clinic hours,
Yeah.
but at the end of the day, you're working typically a 40-hour week when the clinic's open. You're not working the nights, weekends, super late hours, maybe until the point that you choose to go to a private practice.
Yeah.
So it's nice, $130K, 40-hour week, got your debt, got to go through schooling. Not easy school either. You got to spend a lot of time. You got to have some sort of passion for it to get through that.
Yeah.
Now that we have those details, what's the actual lifestyle career side? What's the day in the life of a dentist that has just graduated dental school?
The lifestyle of a dentist. Am
I cleaning teeth all day?
No.
I know we said they
yeah.
don't clean teeth. So then how am I spending all that 40 hours?
Yeah. So you're going to be, you won't be cleaning teeth. The hygienist will do that if there's one in your practice, which there, typically is, but you'll be doing, fillings for cavities. You'll be doing, you'll be working with a lot of specialties depending on your training. Easy root canals, probably helping out with implants. You'll be doing like bridges, maybe dentures, possibly if it's easy. People do come in to get a cleaning. You'll look over their teeth and check if they're okay. So that kind of thing.
A little bit of variety, a little less of the repetition from those biannual visitors and some of the specialties as well. So that's almost a perk, and you don't have to go to residency for it.
Yeah.
Okay.
With general dentists, you get so much more variety. If you decide to specialize, you're going to see the exact same thing every day. But if you just are a general dentist, you are a jack of all trades, which is really nice.
And some people like to know a lot about a little. Others like to learn a little about a lot. So if you want to learn a little about a lot, like Sophia, go into general dentistry.
Yeah.
If you want to learn a lot about little, you find out that specialty in dental school, you follow that specialty.
That was good.
Got it.
That. Yeah.
While we're speaking of those perks,
yeah,
what's the best perks of choosing dentistry? I'm 18, I'm still undecided between this versus that. Why choose dentistry over a different career? What's your favorite thing? I know we should hunt passion first, but passion doesn't always either pay the bills or bring satisfaction to our actual life. So why dentistry?
I wanted to go into medical school anyways, because that was just my drive from childhood, which if you meet a person, a dentist, most likely their parents were dentists too, because they see the lifestyle. I ended up switching from med school to dentistry because of the easy lifestyle, but I love science. I wouldn't want to study any other subject. Dentistry and its kind of availability allows me to possibly get into research when I'm older, which I really want to do. I really love working with my hands. I was into painting and I pick up a lot of different hobbies at different times with my hands. So I like doing it. It's really fun.
And this is a hands-on hobby that
very hands-on.
Makes a good amount of money and doesn't require too much time.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we flip to the other side.
Yeah.
You're making $130K, working 480 hours a week. You have a passion, you're hands-on. It's somewhat enjoyable. But before you commit down this path, it's a long, maybe 10-year commitment. What should we be aware of if I'm 18 before I commit my life to just this one specialty, this one trade?
Yeah.
What are the downfalls that I need to be aware of and make sure I'm conscious of that before this commitment?
I feel like there's a couple things.
Hit them all.
Okay.
Make us hate dentistry.
No,
then
you should like
the people that still enjoy it are the ones that may actually have that be their dream, which is the point of the podcast. We're discovering what is our dream. We think we know it, but we're too young when we're forced to choose it. So we need to provide more of that information of, hey, I thought dentistry was the dream job for me, but there's all these caveats that no one told me about.
That is true.
That's where Sophia comes in.
Okay, here
She's
I
like,
am.
dentistry's
All right.
fun, but don't forget that you have to deal with.
Student debt is a huge issue. You're going to be paying it for forever. My dad is a foot doctor, which isn't dentistry, but he is 52. I hope I'm right. Don't be mad at me, Dad, if I'm wrong.
We'll assume 40
Well,
for
so
now.
40 for now. He's still paying off his student debt, but he lives a very comfortable lifestyle. So that's another thing to weigh. You'll be in so much debt. You'll be paying it off for years, but you can still live comfortably.
It's
So
a good tip. Pay the minimum and spend the rest of the money in Vegas or on
on
vacation.
cars, I don't know.
That's
Cool
fun.
golf shoes, apparently.
Just make sure when you die, whoever that debt falls to can afford it, or else you are screwing someone you love. Go
I'm
on.
gonna think about that now. I'm gonna bring that up to my dad.
Yeah, if he dies, your debt is tripling, by the way.
Okay, but
Nice
another
inheritance.
I know. But another thing to consider is a lot of people say that they want to go into dentistry to help people or just go into like a medical profession to help people. And when you do actually like help someone, and it can be rewarding, but your doctor patient interactions will not be the way that you currently see them. I remember thinking like I'm going to like help people. I took Spanish in undergrad so I could like help, Spanish speaking communities, and I just had these rose-colored glasses like I'm going to help so many people. They're going to be so happy. Like we're going to have a great relationship. It's going to be awesome. And then during my gap year I worked at an office, and then just talking to older students in clinic, it's not always a rewarding experience. Like, not to sound jaded, but patients can be really mean. They can be really uncooperative. And if you are going into this thinking that you are going to feel rewarded for helping people, you most likely will not be like a decent percent of the time. So you should go in expecting nothing back and doing it because you enjoy it.
So there's a lot of debt. It's customer service. So
It is customer service.
you imagine the good scenarios, but there's going to be a lot of bad ones.
Yeah.
Patient gets what they want. They can be as bitchy to you as they want, and you have to deal with it. You don't get to cuss back at someone who cusses at you.
That is true.
So you have to be a bit of a punching bag. You have to go through some rigorous schoolwork, and you shouldn't do it just to fulfill a passion of wanting to help people. You should do it to fulfill a passion
That you
of
have
enjoying,
Yeah.
Working with teeth and really seeing that before and after of making, it better, whether it's the gums or whatever specialty or general dentistry.
Yeah.
Okay. Makes sense. Then another question, believe it or not.
Bring it on.
If you were 18 once again,
Yeah.
but you had the same knowledge of now, would you do anything differently? Or how would you better prepare yourself if you're going to do the same path?
Okay.
Make yourself knowledgeable of something that you wish you had known then. The wise words of wisdom.
I know I'm trying to come up with something inspiring.
Wow. I put you on the spot and you're not that intuitive with it, huh?
I'm happy with the path I took. I've had my regrets, and then I play out the scenarios if I wouldn't have done something, how that would have snowballed. And I'm happy where I'm at now. So despite the things that suck from the past, I'm happy that they happened. My one advice I would say for dental school is that if you enjoy working with your hands and medicine, I would definitely go for it. If you're doing this because it pays well, don't do it. If you're doing it because you want to help people, you can do so many other things to help people. If you just have to enjoy the science of it, you have to enjoy the skill work of it.
And let
Yeah.
alone, going through dental school, not only are you paying money to the school, but you aren't making money as well. So you have these
Yeah.
friends that graduated undergrad school, a lot of your close friends.
Yes.
They're, whether it's buying houses or going on vacations, buying cars, building families, you feel like you're still in school where you just were a year ago while they're growing, making money, and it feels like you're set behind or you're lagging. Whereas long term, you'll catch up, but there's a big phase of going through kind of being the underdog, being at the library late at night, studying things that are not easy to comprehend and learn unless it's actually of interest to you. So don't do it just because you think it'll give you purpose. Do it because you enjoy actually what it is that you're studying and learning. And hopefully undergrad can be a big indicator of that. If you don't like any of the medical stuff you studied, maybe not too late to pivot. And one of the later episodes on the podcast will be a better fit of finding what's my dream or your dream. I just say my. But when I say
what's your specific
I'm
dream?
speaking from the viewers, the listeners' point of view. So I'm speaking for them. They're saying, what's my dream? I'm saying, what's your dream? Okay?
Yeah.
So finally, I am 18, still on the edge, still deciding if I want to be going into dentistry or not, or I just think you sounded fun and cool. How do I reach out to you, or am I able to? LinkedIn is a common answer, but if you have a different one, all are welcome.
Yes, I don't have a
Self-promotion.
LinkedIn yet. Like, hit me up in a week if you listen to this. I will have a LinkedIn.
Nice.
But currently, you could message me like through a DM on my Instagram. It's Sophia, SOPHIA .joy, JOY 21. I'd be happy to answer any more questions that you have.
You heard it here first. Sophia Larson, general dentist, on the side, influencer, Instagram. Go give her a follow or reach out if you have questions. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.